Let me just share with you what will be in this video in general. The first thing is that I will talk about our product hunt launch, what it brought us, show like how we actually got to the first place. Then I will share with you the strategies that you can actually use to get to the first place. After that, I will explain you what you can actually expect from the launch, like can you actually expect any sales, how many users you can expect, and answer all of these types of questions. And also one bonus section I would say is how you can actually use the fact that you launched on Product Hunt as a way to PR and actually promote your product even more. Because personally for us, we got even more traffic after the Product Hunt launch, not during the event. So with that said, let's start a bit. I will just quickly share our Product Hunt launch and how it went. We launched with Beep. And if you know me, you probably know our product Beep. And we were able to get Product Hunt first place. And interesting thing is that this was not the first time that we launched. We actually launched one more time, like 6 months before that, and we didn't get into even top 3. That's because at that time we didn't have any strategy, and we just thought we launch and it will work. No, it didn't. So, and another cool thing is that if you look here, we had like bunch of comments. In case you're not familiar what Beep is, it's like a best way to manage and update your website, best way to share visual feedback when it comes to work on your website. And after the event, I will also share with you the strategy step by step so that you can remember it. So the first thing that you need to do is obviously you need to schedule your launch. I mean, that's basic, but I want to explain to you a few things here. So first of all, you need to create a teaser page for your Product Hunt launch, because not everyone does that. For example, if I go to launches and coming soon, I will see here some coming soon pages. And if I click on any of them, I will see the teaser page for that launch, and people can come and click notify me. This is very important. For example, when we launched, our goal was to have here like 500 people who click notify me. I don't remember exactly how many we got, but I think it was over 400 actually, so we did almost reach our goal. I will not show you how to create the launch. I think that's like you can do it on your own. I will write all the steps step by step and then share with you the document after that. So the first step, I will actually use Beep to write the steps, is obviously schedule your launch. Why do you need to schedule launch? Because you want to create a teaser page for your launch. This is extremely important. So I will save it so that you can get all the steps after that. Now, what type of teaser page you have to create? Okay, before we start on how you can actually invite people to click notify me to get notified when you launch, you need to have a good teaser page. So first of all, if you look at this teaser page, for example, it's not very helpful. It says tidy, read more in less time. I don't really understand what exactly this does, what is their product, and also it's just a picture, so this is not a good teaser page, for example. Let's see if I can find here some good teaser pages so you can look at the examples. So this is already better, but the best thing you can do is actually you can use GIF here. So instead of just a picture, try to use a GIF here, because try to use a GIF that will actually share the idea of your product so that people can understand what you're actually doing. Unfortunately, none of these are using GIFs. This is like horrible image. Half of it is cut. Why would you it looks like people don't even check what is their teaser page. So try to use a GIF here. We actually use the GIF. Try to make sure you explain here what you do, and that's like the basics, right? So now once you have that, the next step is to actually start inviting people to your teaser page. So how do you do that? The best thing you can do is you should find the most active users and actually just add them to your spreadsheet. So let me show you what I mean. For example, let's say these ones are launching, right? And usually if you look at the people that are here, the first ones are either hunters or the makers of this product. And so this guy is a hunter, I know. So let's see. So this guy is probably also a top hunter. Let's see. This guy is probably the maker of this product. Find most active members, maybe product makers. Okay. So, and I would open his profile. And on his profile, I want to see what are his socials. So for example, he has LinkedIn, right? So find the LinkedIn of active PH users. Now, one LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is actually the best social website for that. So if I will just open LinkedIn and let's see. So what I would do after that is I would actually message this person, and he's actually in my contacts already. Okay, but if he wouldn't be in my contacts, what I would do is I would actually message this person, say something like, "Hey Max, found you on PH, also an active user." I mean, he's not Max, but just replace the name. We'd love to connect and support one another. We actually want them to accept our invitation first. So once they accept it, we can do, like, for example, I will just, what I would usually write to them is, we are launching Beep soon. You can insert your product here. And the best management tool for your website. Would appreciate your support for our upcoming PH launch. And so this is like a template that you can use. And so I will just, PM them. Okay, step number 4, PM them, inviting for your product and launch. And this is also very important here. You tell them that if you would want PH support, just let me know. This basically tells them that, hey, if you launch something, I will support you. So if I launch, you support me. If you launch, I will support you. It's like a win-win situation. So this sounds very simple, but here's the main idea: is that you actually need to do this a lot. So what I would do, for example, let's say they agree to support you, they reply to you, yes, I would like to support you, and so on, right? So next step that you actually need to do is you just create a very simple Google Sheet, and you just add here like profiles, and let's say this person agreed to support you, right? So just add his profile here, and so now we have the link. So your goal is actually to get here as many profiles as possible, because these are the people that you will actually message DM during the launch. So right now, as your first step is you need to, like, I think during our launch we had like 3,000 like spreadsheet with 3,000 people, and we actually had 2 people in our team who were actively DMing people. So every day we would just go to Proton, we would go to launches, or you can also go, for example, to community, and then you can find people that have LinkedIn here. So you can go, for example, to some active post, and then you can click on profiles, and then check one by one. They have, okay, so this person has LinkedIn, then I can message them. This is what you have to do. Our goal was to message at least 100 people every day before the launch. So we started actually 4 weeks before the launch doing this, and we were trying to message 100 people every day, me and my teammate. I know, sounds crazy, but unfortunately it's not easy to get the first spot on Product Hunt. And we would message every day 100 people, and after 4 weeks we had here close to 3,000 people like links of their profiles. And that means that these were the people that actually agreed to support us. Now keep in mind that if you have 3,000 people who agreed to support you, that means that maybe only 600, 700 of them will actually go and upvote, because they can forget, they have other things to do, and so on. So again, process, how you find is very simple. You just open coming soon, or you open community and find people there one by one. You open their profiles and you go to their LinkedIn. Another thing you can also do is to find people, because right now, before the launch, the most important thing is to find people. There are many Product Hunt groups on LinkedIn. There's like Product Hunt promotion, upvote promotion, blah blah blah. So you can just go there as well, and you can actually find people in this group, and then you can DM them and offer them that you support them, they support you. So this is like the very basic strategy that everyone does. For example, if I go to my messages, if I go to unread messages or message requests, you can see that a bunch of people are messaging me. But the issue with these people is that we are not connected. They have not messaged me before. What they do is they usually message you when your product is already live. And because we're not connected, I don't even receive this. So that's why you need to message people before your product is live. You need to connect with them. And then when your product is live, you can be like, oh, now it's time, you can support me, I will support you. Now, once you do that, again, your goal is to have as many as possible. So what else can you do? Okay, so I will, before we get to actually the launch day, what else can you do before the launch? Another thing you can do before the launch is on LinkedIn, there are many people who actually can promote your launch. There are people who have like thousands of followers, and you can actually get their info, like you can get their prices before the launch, so that you can work with them in case you think your launch is not going well. For example, if I go to my messages, there was one saying that, hey, she has like 90k plus followers and blah blah blah, and basically she's offering like paid promotions. And so what you could do is you could again collect a list of people who offer paid promotions. It's usually not that expensive, but still obviously depends on your budget. I would add, you would not need to use this if you do the spreadsheet thing correctly. If you just have like a few thousand people links of their profiles here, then you don't need to do any paid promotions. But if you have money and you prefer to save some time, that's another thing that you can do. Where is this person? Yeah. So you can pay them and they would probably like share your launch. Still, this is not as effective as having just a spreadsheet of like a few K people, unfortunately, but it can also bring a few uploads. DM people in advance, start 4 weeks in advance. If you have a few team members, divide your job so that like someone like each team member is messaging like 100 people every day, I don't know, 50 people every day, how much you can do, right? And as much you can do. So now let's go to the actual launch day. The issue with LinkedIn is that if you're gonna just start messaging everyone, you can only message, I think, 400 people from your own profile, or maybe 500 people. So what we had actually 4 team members, and each team member reached the maximum limit of people that they can message on that day. So each team member was messaging, like, I think each team member messaged at least 400 people. So you have 2 options here. If you have team members, cool. If you don't have that many team members, you can ask your friends to help you, or you can also create like a secondary LinkedIn account and message from your other LinkedIn accounts, for example. Again, not advice, it's better just to ask your friends to help you, for example. Now, with that said, this all can be automated. Like finding people, getting their LinkedIn profiles, connecting with them. I know tools that can automate this. When we did it, we did all of that manually because at that time I wasn't familiar with those tools. But you can in theory automate that as well. For example, there's a tool called La Grosse Machine, and this tool helps you to actually automate your LinkedIn outreach, send LinkedIn messages on auto, and you can use this tool, for example, to automate your LinkedIn outreach so that people can go and subscribe to your teaser page. If you reach the limit on LinkedIn, you can also obviously go and use things like Twitter. If you have their emails, you can just send their email to them. But again, the main thing is that in the first 4 hours, so when Product Hunt, just like when the upward gain starts, in the first 4 hours, whoever gets the most upvotes, most likely they will become number 1. The first 4 hours are crucial. Why the first 4 hours? When the day starts, in the first 4 hours, you don't see who has how many upvotes. You only see it after 4 hours. And usually the product that has the most after 4 hours, that's the product that stays on the top. Why? Because in addition, when you send people, for example, the launch day comes, right? And you just start messaging, hey, I launched, please go and support me. For example, let's see. So, hi Farid, I hope you're doing well. We just launched, So you need to keep it very short and simple. Just tell them we just launched. Would love if you support, and you should also add by the end that I would also like to support your launch when you launch. That's very important for people to hear that. Okay, the reason why I didn't respond to this messages again is because we're not connected, so you should connect with people first. So after 4 hours, whoever is first, they get the number 1 spot. Why? Because not only you're sending messages and people go to your launch page, right? But also people just go to proton.com homepage. Not from you, but just in general, they visit proton.com, and whoever they see is number 1, they will see them first. For example, when you visit the landing page, obviously, I saw AI Memory is their number 1, and I saw them first, so I will check them first. Most likely, you will not check the products that are in the bottom. That's why first 4 hours are very crucial. One last thing, very important: don't use bots. Okay, don't use bots, because when we launched, there was a startup that was using bots. And interesting thing is that Product somehow understands that use bots. By bots, I mean if you just Google buy Product Hunt upvotes, you'll find so many services that offer that, buy Product Hunt upvotes, blah blah blah. Don't use them. 99% you will get caught, and your launch will be deleted. When we were launching, there was a company that was behind us. They were number 2, and they were using bots. We would see that because we would see that they just got 50 upvotes in 1 minute. It's too suspicious. And what would happen at the end is that Product will actually delete their upvotes. So if you use bots, you will get caught. Don't do that. Okay, so what do I think about hiring a hunter? Um, uh, so the thing is that last time I checked, hunters are not that useful because, for example, right, you open this teaser pages and you like, where is this person? For example, most likely hunter. Let's see. Yeah, over 5,000 followers, probably a hunter. The thing is that their followers don't get notified about the launch. So if their followers don't get notified, is it really useful to hire a hunter? I mean, from my experience, we didn't have a hunter, and I also have seen many startups get #1 spot without actually a hunter because the followers of the hunters don't get notified that you just launched. That was the last time that I checked. It was like a few months ago. I don't know, maybe something changed because I know that before their followers would get notified, but then Proton would stop notifying their followers, which means hunters became kind of useless. If you go to Proton and you look at the products that get top 3, many of them don't actually have like famous hunters. They just launch and they try to do the strategies that I showed. So it depends how much money they want. If they want, let's say like 500 USD, for example, because I remember we asked one hunter and they were like, oh, 500 USD. 500 USD is not worth it. It's not worth hiring a hunter. You would be much better off if you just hire like LinkedIn influencers and pay them if you have 500 USD to spend. So when we launched, the traffic that we got wasn't actually huge. Why? Because our product, our product is a Chrome extension, and the thing is that it's much more difficult to get people to install the extension and then actually to register. So that's why for us it wasn't that useful. We got a few hundred users, but it wasn't worth the efforts that it took us like 4 weeks of working just to get there. So 4 weeks of effort didn't worth our Proton launch specifically, but it was worth the batch. So the batch that we got #1 spot, it was worth the batch, and I will explain why, but not during the launch itself. For example, we didn't have many sales from that, maybe only 1 or 2, so not as much expected. The pros that actually do best on Proton are pros that actually sell directly to Proton. So if you have a product that directly sells to Proton audience, then you will get lots of sales and you will get lots of visitors. So it depends on your product. If you have, let's say, mobile application, don't expect too much as well. If you have a browser extension, don't expect too much. If you have a software that you need to download on your PC, don't expect too much as well. Regarding websites, depends how much your website fits, how much your startup fits the Proton audience. Okay, if it doesn't fit that well, then you should not expect that many results. But in total, it was worth getting the first spot because of the PR, not because of the launch traffic itself. And I will explain why. Okay. Do you have your favorite product which has been launched? Okay. And my favorite product which has been launched. Okay, so that's a very good question. I don't actually use this product, but their launch was really interesting because they had like really cool, like the videos that they had was amazing. For example, I will not play it now. Actually, let me click play. Okay, what can happen? What's the worst thing can happen? So, well, oh no, it was some other video. Maybe they launched multiple times. But anyways, they had some really cool demo video. Now, by the way, when it comes to views, I forgot to mention that the images that you have here are crazy important. For example, the images that they have here, like the video was, this one was okay. It's probably other launches that they had. It's 4 years ago. But the pictures that they have here are not that good because there are no text. Like it's usually best if you have some text. For example, I will show you just quickly. That's very important. Especially having a good video is very important to actually get people interested. For example, we had like images where we had text, explanation, and then text, like screenshot, text, screenshot. That's very important so that you can actually explain what you do. Now, our video was also, I would say, interesting. Many people actually liked our video. It was our whole team that took part in the video. And if you want, you can actually go to our landing page, justpipit.com, and then you will find the videos there. And like it's basically, I'm like, oh, what should I do? And then my teammate Rocky comes here and he's like, hey, I know how to help you. And then he shows how to use beep. No. So and then we also have some other things happening here. Then, for example, we have another teammate in the background who I sent the message to, and he's like, hey, I received the message. And then at the very end, at the very end, at the very end, we are like, hey, if you use beep, you can go home faster. For example, go home sooner, it's 8 p.m. Nobody wants to be this guy. So the video was interesting. So you should try to create some kind of interesting video. That's important as well. Let's go now and talk about PR. Okay, so after the launch, the fact that we got number one, that batch, that if you go here, this batch, this brought us a lot of traffic, not the launch itself, not ProTant. And let me explain. For example, right, you need to use that batch correctly. I will go to my Reddit. So the launch itself didn't bring many users, but this post, it got 22,000 views, and I also had the link to Beep here. And obviously the strategy that I described here, and also the strategy that I'm describing in this video, that's what brought us so many visitors to our website. So you see, people would just read it and then they would click here to see what is this. So I remember I published this, for example, on multiple. I published this like on Entrepreneur Ride Along subreddit, on Side Project, on some other SaaS and so on. Oh, another one, for example, on this subreddit, it got 21,000 views. So this post that I did got actually almost twice more traffic than the ProTant launch itself. How crazy is that, right? So that's why I mean you should use the launch correctly for PR. Now after the launch, I also posted, by the way, this on Twitter, also did well. After the launch, I posted another post that, hey, actually Reddit post brought more site visitors than first place on ProTant. So again, I'm using the ProTant PR in our advantage. I'm talking about that, hey, actually, you know, this post, like how to win, brought more visitors than the launch itself. And when I posted this, we got another good spike in our visitors. So it just did really well. I also published it on some other subreddits. Here it got almost 93 upvotes, 14,000 views. Here it goes 19,000 views. And I just kept doing it. And I was trying to like how I got 2,000 visitors for my landing page through ghost tracking. Here I was talking about the posts, the ProTant launch. So whatever you get, you should use it as a PR. And I even remember some local news outlets published about us. Then we got lots of DMs from investors who were like, hey guys, you got first place on ProTant, maybe we would like to invest. By the way, that is one of the biggest advantages, is that when if you want to raise money and you talk to investors and you're like, we actually got that number one spot, and they're like, what, really? So that's actually, I could see the fire in the eyes when I would tell them that, because for them that's like a real good credibility. Also, in addition to that, the biggest thing that this helped us with, if you go to AppSumo, so AppSumo has a program called AppSumo Plus, something like that, AppSumo Select. Okay, so this program is basically, you can apply there, and what they do is they do ads for you, and they do sales for you. Basically, it's like for example, if you go here, you will see many products that they're selling, but they don't accept everyone. And we actually got accepted here, and we made over close to 30k USD from partnering up with them. The reason why they accepted us is because we got that number one badge on ProTant. It's because we had this thing. So that's what I mean. It's good for PR. Like the launch itself will not give you much traffic, but if you use it correctly, for example, like to partner up, like we did with AppSumo, to attract investors, to write blog posts, then you can actually gain a lot from that. By the way, the document where I was creating beeps, I will add all the steps to this, and I will email everyone who attended like this, so that you can say, okay, step number 1, schedule a launch, step number 2, do this, step number 3, step number 4, and then I will add more steps, and then I will send you, so that you can have this as a document and you can follow this. I will also post a link to this in the description of this video, so that you can benefit from this as well. Okay, so who is the audience of ProTant? Who typically goes on there? What kind of background? That's a good question. So first of all, the good part about audience of ProTant is that it's I mean, if you're most likely, if you launch here, you have like an IT startup, and people here are either like designers, engineers, product managers, entrepreneurs, and so on. So in that terms, it can be very broad. But the best thing is that there are many people here who are actually interested in trying out products that are very early and very new. So early adopters, they are definitely here. But early adopters are here when it comes to just visiting your website and so on. If you actually want to get sales from Product Hunt, you can get sales like with any product, but the products that do best actually here, it's funny, but I think it's usually products related to graphic design, illustrations, and so on. For example, if I go and illustration, let's see, illustration, free paper illustrations. So I don't know if, like for example, this company Icons 8, they have like a subscription website, subscription to creative assets. I'm sure they would get like lots of sales from here because they sell illustrations and so on. And for some reason, a lot of people from Product Hunt, they do buy creative assets, not only illustrations, but in general, like icons, images, videos, illustrations, and so on. But I'm sure when it comes to, like, for example, if you talk about more like technical stuff, they would also buy many boilerplates, like Next.js, Node.js, whatever, like boilerplates that you that the devs usually sell. For example, open source boilerplate, blah blah. So if they were selling this, I'm sure they would do enough money from this as well. Enough, I mean, like not crazy amount, but some good starting money. Yeah, glad to hear that. It's wind. Glad to hear that this is very useful. I will just open to share with you the traffic that we got from from Product Hunt, and also the PR that we did after that. So if you look here, approximately here, so this is what happened before January. So this is our Product Hunt launch, and in total, I would say we got close to maybe 1,500 visitors. So not so much. Okay, so that's what I was saying. But then this is when I post on Reddit, and this is when as you can see, we got like many more visitors just from Reddit posts. And then again, this is Reddit posts, me again talking about Product Hunt, like that, hey, so here I was talking about how we got to #1 spot. So as you can see, talking about how we got #1 spot got more traffic than actually getting #1 spot. Then I talk about like what other benefits Product Hunt gave to us. Then I think here I talk about growth hacking, which means Product Hunt plus Reddit post. So as you can see, all of these strikes that you can see here, many of them actually are connected to Product Hunt, because I just keep talking about like Product Hunt, not only product, but just in general growth hacking. So that's how you can use it for your PR. What happened in October? Yeah, what happened in October? Yeah, that's a good question. There's a website called Hacker News. So this website will give you more traffic than Product Hunt if you can get to #1 spot. But only if you can get, because it's very difficult to get. I know this website looks like a website from 1995, but it has a lot of traffic still. And basically you submit here different articles. The thing is that people here hate advertising ads. So like if you just try to advertise your product, it will fail. It needs to be something really interesting. And the main audience of this website are very technical people. So what our marketing director Rocky did, he went here and he submitted actually a post here. Startup founders, what advice would you give yourself? Blah blah blah. So what Roberto did is he went and he published actually a post here where he would just do a questionnaire asking people, hey, what advice would you give to yourself if you were younger? And then people here, like if you open this, people actually can have comments here. People here started replying, answering comments. Then he took all of these comments and he turned it into a blog post. And then he published this blog post here based on those comments. And that's where this traffic comes from. I think we had like 10,000 visitors, not visitors, sessions, 10,000 sessions to our website in that night. So yeah, that was a crazy time as well. So you can do some interesting growth hacks. Yeah, how to get #1 spot on Hacker News. Unfortunately, even we haven't achieved that, so that would be pretty complicated. Okay, guys, I think this will be it. You probably know my like LinkedIn, Twitter. If you have any questions, just feel free to DM me on LinkedIn, and I will happily help you. or also my Twitter. So my Twitter Hasselfred, and just DM me, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you have additionally. If you work in a company where you constantly do a lot of feedback and you feel like actually in general, if you're just working on your own website and you constantly update stuff, make sure to check out justpeople.com. It's the fastest way to work on your website to create tasks. As I showed you, just go click anywhere, create a text, tag people, and then all of these comments are actually shown as tasks on your dashboard, and you can manage all of these comments. Like each comment turns into a task. You can go to the board, you can be like, okay, this is to do, this is in progress, this is done, and so on. And obviously you can start for free, and you can even DM me to get a discount if you want the pricing plan. Thank you for watching this, and yeah, bye bye.